Did you know that the last Neovision calendar schedule I predicted was actually kind of bad? In my defense, I didn't think that the developers would end up splitting up every paired up Neovision unit, so going forward, I'll make sure to reflect that properly. Alright, we're near the end of May. The developer said we'd be getting a new global original fan design unit, Cacteria, during this month. At the moment, the most we know is that she's the buffer, so it'd be interesting to see how well she measures up compared to Venera Fenez. Given that we only have one more week in May anyways, it's fairly reasonable to just expect her next week. It's not too strange that they interrupt the Final Fantasy IX flow either. They certainly weren't shy about doing that for the Final Fantasy XV event. And so, that would put Neovision Vivi at the beginning of June. If they still plan to split up Neovision units, then Corral would be next, then interrupted by a global original unit just because, and then followed by Diverti. I can't imagine the Season 3 Neovision units would be insanely popular banners though. In the final week of June, we might see the Trials of Mana collaboration, but given the delayed state of Fullmetal Alchemist, it wouldn't be odd if it's a bit off. But for this video, I'm going to optimistically keep the Trials of Mana collaboration here, so at the very least it won't shift the schedule for future units later down the line. Next, July. We should see Neovision Charlotte here. She'd supposedly show up with Neovision Emperor Vlad, but past experience says they'll be separated by a global original fan design unit. Though jokes aside, it'd be pretty difficult to keep rolling out new units, so who can say? Ibarra is a big question mark. As a limited global original unit herself, they can just as easily throw in another global original unit instead, which is what I assume will happen with the fan design unit. With that in mind, I'll be removing Ibarra from July. Final Fantasy XI should still show up later though. That actually makes things line up nicely for the highly anticipated Final Fantasy VII banners in August. Of course, depending on the months leading up to this event could easily be shifted a week or so, and if we're assuming they're splitting the banners, I expect they'll be released in the order of Aerith, Tifa, Global Original Unit to mess up the transition, and then Sephiroth. If we somehow make it to September, we should then see Neovision Nicole. After that, he'll probably be followed by Neovision Celes. The Final Fantasy VI event will then be interrupted by a Global Original Unit, and then they'll introduce Neovision Cyan. Not sure if there's a big fanbase for Cyan, since I certainly haven't heard anyone clamoring for him. Maybe they'll switch things up and introduce Cyan first, who knows. After Final Fantasy VI, Season 4 began in Japan, with Neovision Kurosame for whatever reason, then followed by Neovision Sakura. Given that it's October, it wouldn't be out of the ordinary for Halloween units to appear. I'm not sure if a global original fan design unit will show up here, given that the vast majority of Halloween units are global original anyways, but who knows. So that's the predicted schedule for the future, assuming they're splitting up the pairs. Given that splitting up Neovision units and including global original units heavily extends the schedule, I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up shifted one way or another. Personally, I'm looking forward to Final Fantasy VII and Riser whenever he'll show up, but that doesn't mean I don't care about the rest. Anyways, keep in mind that this calendar is heavily theoretical, depending on who's thrown in and who's pulled out. Finally, I have to give a shout out to my Patreon. Once per month, patrons will get the ability to suggest a unit topic, and then I'll make a video based on the most popular idea. Maybe it'll be an older unit, like Riser. Or maybe it'll be a unit that hasn't been released in Global yet, but that's up to the patrons to decide. If you want to join, visit the link in the description below. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, leave a like and subscribe. Comment below which month you're most excited for. For me, I'm interested in Final Fantasy VII, so I'll be looking forward to August.